What is up, y'all? Snipes-n-Snarfblatts, your unauthorized place for Disney, Pixar, Marvel, and Lucasfilm. As usual, I'm your host, Jason, and we come here every single week to talk about everything under the Disney empire. And since I have left y'all, there have been some amazing things. So off the top, this is what we're going to be going into throughout the course of the categories. But first and foremost, just so y'all know, Penguins. Disney Nature's Penguins has started this week. This weekend is the weekend you go see it, because this weekend your proceeds goes to helping penguins and helping their habitats and everything Disney Nature puts the money to in from the ticket sales of this movie that does good for the animals that you're watching. So go see Penguins. Even if you just go buy a ticket and don't watch it all at all, know that your money's going to a good place. Now, since I've seen you last week, there has been one heck of a packed weekend. I'm talking first Disney Plus. Disney Plus came and they unleashed every single bit of their original content and what was going to be on Disney Plus from launching day, the first year in, and some of the stuff from the second year in. So we're going to break that down. I'm not going to cover it all. If you want a whole list of it, go to the website and check it out. I put the whole list and broke down how I felt about every single show. But I pulled out some highlights to put into the categories of today's show, because we also have to cover one of the biggest things of the year. Star Wars Celebration was this weekend, and they gave us so much Star Wars news I can almost do a whole show on what happened at Star Wars Celebration. So without any further ado whatsoever, we're going to get into all of that. But first and foremost, the first category, as always, the mouse and the desk lamp. And the mouse and the desk lamp is where we talk about all things Disney and all things Pixar. And all of this is going to come from Disney Plus. Disney Plus is that streaming service that I mentioned earlier that Disney just unloaded on us. So everything Disney and Pixar wise we're going to cover that I was really into. Like I said, they gave us the dates for all this. They gave us all this stuff. So throughout these categories we're going to get into all of that. And this is the first little chunk of things that just really stood out to me, of things that I have to see. And the first thing was Forky Asks a Question. And this is going to come out as launch. I'm sure everyone's seen the Toy Story 4 trailers by now, and you've seen Forky, the little homemade sport character who's just having an existential crisis about everything. And this is a 10-episode series at launch on Disney Plus that's going to cover many questions in his life, like what is love, what is time, what is cheese? You know, all those important questions we ask ourselves every day, and Forky's going to give us his answers and how he feels. Look, I haven't seen Toy Story 4 yet, obviously, because it's not out, but this character, from what I've seen so far just in the trailers, has become one of my favorite Toy Story 4 characters ever. So I cannot wait for this. This is going to be awesome. Another thing covering another Toy Story 4 character also hit my radar, and that is Lamp Life. And it will be due sometime in year one of Disney Plus. And it covers where Bo has been since Toy Story 2. We haven't seen Bo throughout Toy Story 3, and now she's coming back in Toy Story 4 as this like lost toy, kick-ass action figure chick, right? So we're going to see where all that came from. We're going to see what she's been doing in that time she's been gone. That's pretty interesting to me, because they're probably not going to cover all of that in the movie because they're doing this. So that's one more Toy Story-esque series that definitely hit my radar. Spark Shorts is going to get more episodes, it looks like. That's going to be there at launch. So you're going to get all the episodes we've seen already and we've covered on the show and talked about. I actually love this Spark Shorts thing. If you missed all the shows and missed all the writings and don't know what Spark Shorts is, Spark Shorts is the Pixar cartoons, and all the animators have gotten together and they're really hooking it up and showing what the future of Pixar can be. And it's really, some of them are really good. Like so far, out of the I think 4 that I've seen, I have loved 3 of them. So I mean, I really want to see, and I mean, if it was 3, I've loved 2 of them. So I only didn't like 1 so far. So I can't wait to see more of these. These are really creative. It's going to show the direction. It's going to give us help picking that new place that Pixar is going to go from here in the absence of John Lasseter, now that he has moved on to other things. So those are three things, all Pixar related, I'm really into. I can't wait to see how these goes. Monsters at Work will be coming out at year one. We talked about on that at the last episode. It's about the mechanic working his way to the laugh floor. Takes place 6 months after Monsters Inc. Almost all the original voices of Monster Inc. We're talking Billy Crystal, John Goodman. They're all coming back down in for this. So I'm curious to see if the animation stays the same in these, because I know a lot of these like quick series they like to do, in 2D, and I'm really wondering if they're going to change up the animation on any of these, but I hope they don't. I'd love to see that tried and true Pixar animation we're used to, because so far, with me at least, Monsters Inc., the more they touch it and the more these people get comfortable with these characters, the better they've been. Hell, it's the same thing for Toy Story. They just keep getting better. So I can't wait to see these series, because I know everybody that's involved will also be involved with the series. It's really cool to me. There's a couple of these. One of these, this one's really out of left field, but it just sounded like something that just hit me so close to home, and that is The World According to Jeff Goldblum. That's going to be on launch. As they launch this streaming service, you will be able to watch this, and it's what it says it is. It's The World According to Jeff Goldblum. Astonishing things that we never knew about just normal objects, even down to ice cream, you know what I'm saying? And after Jurassic Park and his character in Jurassic Park, I feel like that just is Jeff Goldblum. When you see Jeff Goldblum on film, I have a feeling he's one of the actors where you're seeing a lot of just Jeff Goldblum. And I can't wait to see this. I could watch Jeff Goldblum try. Hell, he could tell me the story of a fork, and I'd be like, yeah, let's do it. Jeff Goldblum he's amazing. I've always been infatuated with him since The Fly, since many things. Jeff Goldblum's been one of my favorite. Not even if he's one of my favorite actors, he's just one of my favorite people. He's one of those people who, when he talks, you listen. And if this is anything like what I'm thinking it's going to be, this is going to be a very interesting and very fun show that's going to be available at launch. So I definitely want to check that out too. More on my list from there is the Ink and Paint. Ink and Paint is going to come around year 2, based on a book of the same name, right? So Ink and Paint is the story of the unsung workforce of women that helped bring Disney animation to life in the first place. I've watched a lot of documentaries and I've seen these women touched on, but I've never actually seen it go into depth. And this is really anything about the beginnings of Walt Disney, the beginnings of the parks, the beginnings of his animation. Just, it enthralls me. I love this stuff. This is part of the reason that I'm inspired to do what I'm doing here is Walt, and anything that touches on that how this all started and how it all started with a mouse in the first place, just, I love it. I could sit and watch this stuff all day long. So I know that might bore some, but year 2, I'm really looking forward to this Ink and Paint. I eat this stuff up. I've got just troves and troves of collections of things that literally just talk about Walt, the beginnings of animation, the buildings of the park, and why all these things have never really just excited me as something I want to do. There's still something that I love to learn about. I'm not into animation and stuff like that myself. However, I'm like Johnny Five from Short Circuit when it comes to that. I need input. I love getting more input on this stuff and just how it all started. It amazes me to a total level, everything that's been built by Walt Disney and all the people he surrounded him with. He always said that he wasn't a genius, but he surrounded himself with geniuses. And I think that mind frame can just get you so far in life if you know what you're doing. And anyway, I can't wait to see that. The next 2 are just they're so high on my list for Disney Plus when it comes to regular Disney fare, it's not even funny. First is Lady and the Tramp. And I've always loved Lady and the Tramp, but when you told me you're going to do a live action one with real dogs, mind blown. Like I said when they first announced this, I want to see a behind the scenes to go with this, because I want to see how crazy it was to get these real dogs to actually do their thing, you know what I'm saying? But I love dogs. Dogs are my thing, so at launch I'm really looking forward to this. I love Lady and the Tramp. I love the Siamese Cats. I used to sing the song when I was a little kid, like, oh, we are Siamese, if you please. I loved that stuff. Like, I absolutely adored this movie. Like, which is weird because I was never the biggest 101 Dalmatians fan when I was a kid, but I loved me some Lady and the Tramp, and I still do to this day. Like, it's one of my favorites, and I cannot wait to see a live-action version done with real dogs. By the way, did I mention they're doing this with real live dogs? Like, dude, I'm sorry, that's awesome to me. I can't wait to see this movie. I'm sure there's going to be more of a human aspect of it than we're used to, which that's cool to me too, because like I said, I love it as long with these live actions. Don't change the story, add some story, and you've got me. I'm in there. Like, that's all I want to see. I want to see you add some story to these things. And as long as they're building on what we've already known and loved, count me in. I can't wait for this. And speaking of things I can't wait for, the last on the list of Disney Plus editions for The Mouse and the Desk Lamp, that is, in year one, the Phineas and Ferb movie. They're working on a full title for this right now, so there's no telling what it's going to be called. Y'all, Phineas and Ferb. Look, Phineas and Ferb and Milo, like, they've become two of my favorite cartoons, like modern cartoons. These are probably the only, if you sat down and told me I had a choice to watch only two modern cartoons, those would be them. Like, these are my favorite. Milo with his, Milo Murphy, he's great. But it all comes, Phineas and Ferb. What are we going to do today? I just love Phineas and Ferb. I love Phineas and Ferb. I even more so love the Platypus, Agent P. Like, he's the one that actually stole me into this. I'm a really big James Bond fan. And seeing his, like, portrayal of a platypus that ducks off to be James Bond to stop Dr. Doofenshmirtz from Dr. Doofenshmirtz Incorporated. I love this show. Like, I watched all these when they first came out, and then when I got a chance to watch them, it was either on Hulu or Netflix, I binge watched every one of them all over again. Like, I love this show. I cannot get enough of it, and I don't know why. It's the same formula, literally, over and over and over and over, and I don't even care. I could watch the show over and over, the same exact thing, and then rewatch them all over again. I don't know why. I just love it. So when they told me a Phineas and Ferb movie was coming to Disney Plus, like, it just skyrocketed to the top of my list of things I want to see. And like I said, I cannot wait for this. So forgive me if I'm moving through these kind of fast. Like I said, there's the whole list down on the website. If you want to check that out, go to the website and check it out. It should be under Mouse and the Desk Lamp, and it's a whole list of everything coming to Disney Plus. But I can only pick out a handful for the show because we got a bunch of stuff to cover today. So we're going to move out of Mouse and the Desk Lamp, and we are going to move right into the Nine Realms. And the Nine Realms is where we talk about everything that has to do with the Marvel Universe, MCU, all that good stuff. So we're going to hit some more Disney Plus stuff first. Now, some of this we've already talked about, and I'm just going to run over it one more time so we can get into it again, because now we know the launch dates for all of it. Well, not the full dates, but we have a time frame. So within year one, we will get the Falcon and Winter Soldier. This is probably one of the Marvel shows that I'm actually most excited for. You'll have the same actors that played Bucky and the same actor that played Falcon. They're going to come back to play their characters. And every time I think of this, I think of Civil War. And I think of that scene where they're in the car and they're basically, I don't even know the exact lines, but it's the facsimile of who's Cap's biggest friend. You know what I'm saying? I hate you. No, I hate you. Why? Because I'm Cap's friend. I'm Cap's friend. I mean, that's what you could break it down to. Like, and if they find a way to inject some of that into this series, oh man, this series is going to be great. Now, they've already said these series are going to they're going to have a lot to do with the MCU, so they're going to be weaved in there, and they're going to be pretty important pieces. So I think that's really cool. I like hearing that, mainly for this one, because I can't wait to see that. And Loki. The next one I'm going to talk about is Loki. Loki's coming out in year 2, and y'all, Loki is one of my favorite characters in the Marvel Universe, and this was before we had an MCU. He was one of my favorite characters, even in the comic books. I'm not the biggest reader of Thor until the modern Thor stories, but I always had a place for Loki. I just thought he was such a developed, and just his character had so many angles to him that I always loved this character, and that translated so well into his addition to the MCU. This also with Tom Hiddleston. However, we're going to have to wait till year 2 for this one. But Tom Hiddleston is coming back. He has owned this role, and I can't wait to see him sink right back into it again for a series. I mean, this is another one I'm really excited for. This one keeps going back and forth with Falcon and Winter Soldier for which one's actually number 1 on my list. Ask me today, it's Falcon and Winter Soldier. Ask me next week, it might be Loki all over again. Now, the next one of the Marvel series, this one, it's on the list, but it's not the highest on the list. It's WandaVision is what they're going to call it, and that's in year 2. And that's the story of Wanda and Vision and their relationship and this and that. And I mean, it's never really grabbed me in the comic books when they've tried to do their own thing and focus on the relationship. So I'm a little worried about this being a whole series. Like I'm obviously still excited for it. I mean, anything from the MCU, I'll take it. And I really like Olsen in this character. I also really like Bettany in the character of Vision. I just don't know if that's going to be enough to bring me into this whole love story angle still, because I just never really got into it in the comics. But still highly excited. That's why I put it on the list. I still will watch this and eat up just every single second of it. So that's going to be really cool. But even above that, and close to the Loki and Falcon list, is coming in year 1, Marvel's What If. It's going to be animated. It's going to take place from some pivotal moments in the MCU. And much like the comic series of the same name, it's going to take those pivotal moments and reverse them. It's going to take a pivotal moment and go the other way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know exactly what they'll be, but I mean, it's like, what if Captain America never died at World War II? So what if he didn't go down on the plane with Red Skull? What if all that was fine? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if Red Skull killed Captain America? What if someone else was the Hulk? You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I think that's really cool. Like, what if Loki was Thor? You know what I mean? And, I mean, I'm really excited to see how that goes. I love these. These are total different angle things. I love the what if storyline, and I can't wait to see how they're going to make it apply to the MCU. What I just gave as examples, they might not use any of those. They might have a whole nother list of things to go by. You know what I'm saying? And I can't wait to see where they go with that. That's going to be neat. I love these things. Like I said, it's a total just mind blow on what could happen to the MCU. And the beauty of it is they can tell the stories kind of fast because you've already seen the actual story. They don't have to tread the lines so closely because you kind of know what's going to happen. They can just shoot you right into anywhere, and that's really cool to me. So can't wait to see how that goes. And that's actually, like I said, one of the tops up there. This one looks very interesting too, though, and they're going to do what they're calling Marvel 616. And this is going to be a documentary series about Marvel proper, like everything to do with Marvel. It's going to explore the intersection between the stories, characters, creators, and the real world as they know it. Like what these stories have impacted on the real world and such. And that's always been really cool to me. Like I said, I'm in depth when it comes to Marvel. Like I know a lot of things, like why I listen to a lot of things. I know a lot of the mind frames behind some of these characters, like X-Men, Black Panther. Like they really feed off of what the social status was at the time that they came out. And I think that's really cool. And it sounds like this documentary series is going to dive into that. And I'm glad it's going to, because a lot of people want to see this. This will be in year 1 too. And I think a lot of people need to see this because they'll see that the reason these stories resonate with us so well is because they are very rooted in real life. But that, and I really think if this touches on that, it can bring more people to realize these are more than just superheroes to a lot of us. These actually have really deep meanings. And I think that's really something they don't build on when you're just watching the movies. You're like, wow, that's a good movie. You don't really break it down into how deep some of this stuff really is and how much it's always touched on real world problems since the beginnings of comic books. So it's going to be a really neat series, I think. I'm definitely going to give it a chance. But that is it for the Disney Plus stuff from Nine Realms. I'm going to talk about one more thing, and I'm not going to spend much time on it, and that is we are 1 week from Avengers Endgame. And I bring this up because a couple TV spots came out. One of them showed us maybe 2 little flashes of new scenes. It wasn't even much, like Iron Man's new armor build-up and stuff. And the other one was really just a recount through all the years of Marvel. They were great TV spots, but I'm not really going to get into them because there's stuff that we haven't seen. Definitely watch the latter of the two because it was a really cool build-up to get you. You know how you're on this level? Like, it's just going to blow you off the top of the roof after you watch that. The anticipation level for this thing's crazy. But I want to bring up Avengers Endgame for another reason. And that's some clown had decided to put up some spoiler footage, and sites that break down that stuff decided, since they knew it was going to get taken down, they would go ahead and just word for word tell everyone everything that happens. And much like John Campea says, it's cool if you want to see this stuff and you want to go to it, but here's the problem, and this is why I don't even do spoiler reviews. I don't put spoilers in my reviews for one reason, and that's because it arms people with spoilers. And there are a bunch of people out here that just, for some reason, are horrible human beings and want to ruin this excitement for others. They, pride themselves on just destroying things for others. And yes, I think that's a totally wrong thing, and that's why I don't arm them with that ammo. But anyway, they sent out another letter, the Russo brothers. It's the same thing from Infinity War. Hashtag Thanos demands your silence. Please, when you go see this movie, don't spoil it for other people who haven't seen it. This is a big event for people. People have been waiting a long time, and I know there's people who want to go, oh, well, it's just a movie. But at the same time, it's not just a movie for a whole lot of people. This means a lot for some people, a whole lot. This is 20, not only is it 23 movies and a culmination, there's people who, this has been going on for 10 years. This is half of some people's lives. This means a lot to them, and if it doesn't mean a lot to you, that's good for you too. But don't go and spoil it for the people who it does mean a lot for. I'm really tired of seeing people make fun of the things that other people hold dear to them. It's just not right. I'm not the biggest I'm not the biggest bleeding heart of anyone. I'm quick to tell people to get over their stuff, but it's not right to just completely crap on something people care about just because they have something they care about. Even if you don't like what they care about, respect the fact that they care about something. And let's try not to spoil this for other folks and give everybody the same experience when they go in to see this, because for some people this does mean a lot, and if it doesn't to you, who are you to ruin that for them? But anyway, like I said, Thanos demands your silence, so now that is it for the Nine Realms, though. I will stop preaching about that, and we will get into what everybody's been waiting for months now. Eyes on Isley. And yes, we have had some eyes on Isley, and some amazing things have happened over the past weekend. It has been Star Wars Celebration in Chicago. I wished I was there, and then I found out it was snowing, and y'all can keep that. I am not a fan of snow, so even though I wished I was there, I am somewhat glad I was not trapped in the snow, because I'd have been that genius that decided to not get a hotel, pay everything from my Star Wars Celebration tickets, and then next thing you know, I'm sleeping in a frostbit car, and I've got to cut off one of my toes. It's just not worth that to me. But anyway, Star Wars Celebration over the weekend. Obviously, the biggest thing coming out of this is what we've all been waiting for. We have a name, we have a teaser trailer, and they are both there in my book. There, and there. I love this, y'all. Rise of Skywalker. The Rise of Skywalker. Come on. If you don't like this name, you're going to have to start being real with yourself. If you didn't like TLJ, if you didn't like the name of this one, if you hate the prequels and don't even like little parts of them, you might want to start telling yourself you just don't like Star Wars. That's just how it goes. There's a lot of people that need to hear this right now. You might not like Star Wars. I love this name. The Rise of Skywalker is going to give us so much speculation over the next months. Like, I've already heard so much. Are the Skywalkers what they're going to call the Jedis now? Does that mean Rey's really a Skywalker? Does that mean there's another Skywalker? Does that mean Kylo Ren's going to get redeemed and become a Skywalker? I love this stuff. And you know why I love this stuff? Because I hope it's like The Last Jedi, and I hope every single one of them things are wrong. Every one of them. I want to speculate that all those things are right, and I want to go into the theater and have it blow my mind by having it being something completely different. And, I mean, the trailer to this. So, a couple things taken out of Celebration and the actual panel. J.J. Abrams said that characters were going to have to get over their light and their dark to assess a bigger evil. And kind of chuckled when they asked what that was, but that's because they hadn't showed the trailer yet, and we kind of now know a hint of what that might be. We also know the whole group will be in on this one this time. It won't be a lot of folks in a different place. The whole group's together, and that's where we're going with that. And we also know that this takes place a significant amount of time after what happened in The Last Jedi. So you're going to get a significant amount of time pass. Don't know how much. Could be 2 years, could be 2 months, could be 6 months, could be a decade. Who knows? I'm sure it's not a decade. It's probably in the ballpark of 2 years. If I had to put a number on it, I would say a year or two. But obviously we're going to get a whole lot of, because this teaser trailer was better than some trailers that I have seen. This teaser trailer, in my eyes at least, was great. From the opening scene with the flip over the TIE fighter, all the way into the voiceover from Luke, all the way to the woohoo coming from Lando Calrissian, as Han Solo said he would get the Millennium Falcon over his dead body, and well, here we are. Looks like he's piloting it again. Lando was the best part of the episode 9 little panel, though, at Celebration, by the way, going off the trailer a little bit and sidetracking. Lando was great with his, how'd you get into the character of Lando again? Well, how'd I get in the character? He never left me. Greatest answer ever. And only Billy D. Williams could be that cool still to this day after all these years. Y'all, back to the trailer. So you got him piloting that. You got a new droid coming out, which isn't the most impressive droid, but a new droid nonetheless. I'm sure it'll be more impressive in the long run. And yeah, this just looked so amazing. You had the voiceover from Luke, like I said earlier, and no one ever really dies. He said it right as you see Leia. I mean, you just start wanting to gush tears. And then right at that, you see everybody come together while Luke's voiceover. And then you're like, wow, that looks kind of like a piece of a Death Star. And right as you're thinking that, you hear that familiar, I can't even do it right because it's so just him. You knew who it was, or at least you thought you did. I sat there going, oh my God, was that laugh Palpatine? And Ben's, I was watching it live at Celebration on the feed. The room goes dark, it comes back to light, and there's Ian McDiarmid, and he's like, roll it again. And you just think to yourself, oh my God, that was Emperor Palpatine, and that's Emperor Palpatine, and this is just amazing. I can't wait for this, y'all. Ever since Infinity War, I've only been thinking about Endgame. That's all I've been thinking about. I'm back to thinking about it now, by the way. But for 2 or 3 days there, I actually forgot about Avengers Endgame because I was just so sucked up in everything that was Star Wars and Episode 9. And just, wow, is all I've got. Like, wow. The questions. So, is Palpatine, how? Because even Ian McDiarmid said in interviews during Celebration, Palpatine's dead. So it's like, well, wait, what? Palpatine's dead? George Lucas said Palpatine's dead. Palpatine's dead? So how? What? How? Is this a Force Senses thing? Is this another Force ghost? Is Luke a Force ghost? Are they synced into the remnants of the Death Star? Like what? Like I said, perfect teaser. A great teaser once makes you want to see more and leaves you with no answers and just multiple questions. And that's what this teaser did. All the way. I can't wait for this. I'm spending way too much on this trailer, but it's a great trailer. Haven't seen it. It's up on the site too. And wow. That was amazing. So there's a whole lot more from Celebration. I'm not going to cover too much on it too hard. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. It's the Xbox One, PS4, PC games we've been waiting for since Star Wars Unleashed. And this one feels like everything I personally wanted Star Wars Unleashed to be. Because while I liked Star Wars Unleashed, it always felt like an Elseworlds type game to me no matter how you cut it. Like Vader having a secret apprentice, it seemed like they were reaching really far just to make a cool game where you could make some choices. This, the trailer to it felt like it completely could bleed into canon as we know it. Cal Kestis, a surviving Padawan, takes place right after Episode 3 in Order 66, just trying to make his own, and you develop his abilities and whatnot while dodging Inquisitors, because, like he said, you got to keep your head down now. They put out an amazing trailer to this. All this stuff's on the site, by the way, I'm talking about. If you want to pick up the trailers, go to Eyes on Isley on the actual Snipes-n-Snarfblatts site, and I've got it all lined up down there, everything as it came out. So check this out. This was really cool. It was a great trailer, and I mean, it made me, I want this game yesterday, and I'm not even done playing my Battlefront 2. I just finally started sinking myself in too late, but I want this yesterday, so that's going to be amazing. Like I said, the storyline looks great, looks like it falls right into everything you know with like Rebels and Clone Wars and stuff like that we've all been so into. So, and wait, did I just say Clone Wars? Well, guess what? That was the next trailer we're going to get into from Celebration. We had Clone Wars Season 7. That trailer's up there too. That trailer was great. Y'all, I was not the biggest Clone Wars fan at first. I wasn't really on board with the movie when it first came out to get us into the series. The series just never really grabbed me. I did not like this little brat of a Padawan that Anakin had. Didn't even think this should have been added to the story, much less canon, but they made it that way. But I'll tell you what, by the end of Clone Wars, I not only loved the series, I actually turned all the way around. And Ahsoka Tano is one of my favorite characters now. I even read the book, the Ahsoka book, just because of how much I love Ahsoka Tano. She is just, the development over the course of that probably was, she is the best developed character in that whole series. And one of the best developed Star Wars characters next to like the original characters that we've been with forever. But I said, this looks great. It's going to show how she gets drawn right back into the mix. It's got some more story with Rex and the clones and how he gets to where he's at when you see him last. I think they were both in Rebels, so I mean, we get to see some of the stuff that's going to tie them into where they were at in Rebels, and I think that's really cool because, I said, I love the character of Ahsoka. It looks like they just naturally pulled her back into this storyline, and I can't wait to see where all of this ends up by the end of Season 7. And it's probably going to make me want to rewatch Rebels right over again after I'm done. So, luckily, this will all be on what? Disney Plus. Yes, that's another thing coming to Disney Plus. So, we've got that. I've got a couple more things I'm going to name even, and I'll throw those up once I go up Disney Plus. But we are still in Star Wars Celebration. Galaxy's Edge, y'all. They did a big thing on Galaxy's Edge, showed some pictures, showed all kinds of stuff. They got all the merchandise was laid out, and they are going to take so much of my money. I've got some chance cubes you can buy now. They got a new set of Sabacc cards that I'm definitely going to get to go with my chance cubes. They've got creatures that work like banshees. They've got puppets that are porgs. All kinds of the creatures that do different stuff. And I think that's going to be really cool in the long run because I just want to know what they all do. You know, like, hee, skinny guy, I forget his name, that sits on Jabba's thing. He's got one of those and sit on your shoulder, and he works like a banshee, like the little puppet. If you've not played with one, they move and do all that stuff. They're friggin' awesome. One of the most awesome toys I've ever had. So I know I'm taking a creature home. I will try to take one at a time. They had some droids. I wasn't that impressed with the droids because they were just remote control droids. I'm still looking for a droid that I can put in follow mode and will just follow me around, be a Bluetooth or something. But I do like the fact you can change the attitudes of these droids and that these droids will interact. They've got a BB series and a good old R2 series, and these droids will interact with the park. So that's kind of cool. It might force me to get a droid as I see how interactive they are. But so far, if they're just remote control and they don't do much, I'm probably going to get a mouse droid if I get any of them, because the little mouse droid thing, it's got shooters on it that come out the side and it shoots darts. And I thought that was just really neat because I can plague my daughter with it and hunt her down in the room and shoot darts at her. And hey, that sounds fun. But there's that, and there's the DJ one. The DJ one you can hook your music up to, and he's like a DJ. And at first I thought this was kind of dumb until I found out he can also scratch your music and like mix your music up and stuff. And I was like, wow, so he's like a real DJ? Okay, that sounds like something I might actually put some weight into. I could see myself doing this and getting the DJ droid. So who knows? I might get a droid. I know for a fact I'm going to get a lightsaber, though. I was first excited about this choose your own path and pick your lightsaber thing and make your own personal lightsaber. That's really cool, isn't it? Then they had to bring out these just awesome metal boxes. Look, I'm a sucker for lightsabers. Like, I own about 6 of them. At one point, I told them they can't put Kylo Ren's in my hand at the store because if they did, I would buy it. And she goes, oh, no, you won't. Here, it's fine. Hold it. I bought it. Then I was like, I thought I was safe because they were playing with Rey's, and I was like, oh, Rey's is just Anakin's. I've had Anakin's for years. That's fine. And she shows it to me. I'm like, yeah, I got one of those. And she's like, well, the blade comes out now, and you've got this clip where you can hang it on your belt. And I was like, and before I could even say anything, my wife just looks at me and goes, you know you're going to buy it. Just buy it. So there you go. That's how I got with that one. So, I mean, I've got a slew of these things. You know what I'm saying? But when I saw the Galaxy's Edge things, not only do they have a thing you can sling to put your blade in now when you take it off and carry it around, obviously I need that, right? They bring this box out and they open it. And lo and behold, in this metal box is Ahsoka Tano's double setup of her little Tonto blade and blade with the white blades, obviously, that you attach. And I was like, yeah, I need that. And then they showed the whole room, and I was like, well, I got Mace Windu's, but the blade don't come out. But that's fine, don't need that. And then I looked, and I said, is that? And before I could even say is that, I knew I was just deceiving myself, because I knew what it was. Darth Mauls. Darth Mauls, and if they have a way where you can put them together like they used to, I just got a hard decision, because opening day, I'm either leaving with Ahsoka's, or I'm leaving with Darth Mauls. So I'm going to say I'm leaving with Ahsoka still, but if you see me with a double-bladed, just know that I'm weak. Yeah. I don't know which one I'm coming home with. I switch every day on which one I'm going to grab. But that's enough for Galaxy's Edge. Like I said, they're going to take a lot of my money. So that's that for Celebration when it comes to Galaxy's Edge. The last thing for Celebration, and I wanted to get into, was The Mandalorian. And The Mandalorian, they're going to... They blacked out the actual trailer, so I didn't get to see it. And I missed all the versions they took down. So I still didn't see the trailer. They blacked it out from the live feed. It will launch in the fall. Or it will be there at launch, in the fall with Disney Plus. I wrote that down wrong. Disney Plus launches in fall. This launches with it. So it will be there at launch date. And it is right after the fall of the Empire, before the First Order took over. Takes place in the Outer Rim. It's like a Clint Eastwood Western is all they kept talking about. And from the pictures and everything that they did show, y'all, I'm in. I want to see this so bad. Like, The Mandalorian has been this high on my list as well for things I want to see come out of this. This is a really big one for me. And the more they were talking about Clint Eastwood and Western style and this and that, I was like, yeah, I'm really in on this. I can do this. I'm in. So I'm not going to cover too much on The Mandalorian because I don't know too much about it. Like I said, I missed the trailer, but it's a must-see. I've always loved the Mandalorian culture, and, I mean, hell, I loved Boba Fett's armor, even though they're saying he wasn't a Mandalorian now, but I can't wait to see this. So, a little more is we're going to get us one more Disney Plus thing, and that is, this is just on Disney Plus. They didn't cover this at Celebration. This is going to be hitting on year 2. It's the untitled Cassian Andor series. Cassian Andor is Diego Luna's character from Rogue One, and this is going to take place in the formative years of the rebellion, and it's going to be like a spy show, you know what I'm saying, a spy thriller that leads up to Rogue One and the events you saw in Rogue One. And Alan Tudyk will be back as my favorite droid, K2SO. So this is really cool to me. I can't wait to see this. I really liked. They were probably my favorite 2 characters when it comes down to this, besides the blind guy with the Force protector. You know what I'm saying? They were my favorite characters throughout that whole movie. So I cannot wait to see more of them. Because like I said, they were great. So, but anyway, we're going way over time. We're going to roll out of Eyes on Isley right now. We're going to bring up some really quick things in What the Fox. And the things in What the Fox, one of them is in the Mouse and the Desk Lamp, and that is, you'll see it on the site. It's the video. If you have not seen the quick minute-long video where they introduce The Simpsons and The Simpsons get welcomed to the Disney family, it is a great video. It is so Simpsons, it's not even funny. I actually laughed out loud at a couple of points. I'm glad to see The Simpsons come in, and I can't wait to see them help and Disney help them build what they've got, because I've always been a really big Simpsons fan, and I feel like it's lost some of its luster over the years, and I can really hope they can pick up that shine of where they used to be and where Simpsons Mania was. And if I'm judging by the little commercial they saw, that was great, and that's all I'm going to touch on that. It's a minute long, so I mean I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Check it out. Like I said, it's in the Mouse and Desk Lamp section of the website, and it is right there in the Disney Plus video. It's on the bottom of the whole list of Disney Plus stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that's that. I'm going to get into one more thing for What the Fox, and that is the newest Dark Phoenix trailer, which I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they're cutting amazing trailers or what. This movie's starting to look amazing. I mean, I know I've heard nightmare things, but this is the best look yet. Once again, since Disney's taken over this thing looks amazing. This is going to sum up the 20 years of Fox's X-Men as we know it, and I'm totally excited for this all of a sudden. Like I heard nightmares going in, and that the production, it was just trash, and that this thing never stood a chance of being good. But this looks amazing. Like, I don't know if they're cutting trailers right, or if Disney stepped in and helped re-edit this thing and really get some final shots in there to make it what it is now. But it looks like X-Men's going to go out on a high note for Fox with this one. So until they decide what they're going to do with it next, we're at least going to end on a strong note for these 20 years of X-Men that we've been into in the first place. And I'm glad, because X-Men's been a roller coaster, but I loved more X-Men than I haven't loved. So if this one can set them out on a bang, it'll stay that way and it won't break even, and I'll still love more than I didn't like. So this just looks great, and I'm all of a sudden excited for Dark Phoenix, so I'll be there. But anyway, that's it for What the Fox. We're going to get out of What the Fox, and we're going to roll right into the E-Ticket. The E-Ticket's where we talk about park stuff. I've got a couple park things to talk about. Some of it, too, is in the Disney Plus realm. So first, we're going to talk about an actual park thing. It is the 30th anniversary of Hollywood Studios. That's going to jump off May 1st. There's a whole bunch of merchandise to celebrate the 30th. There's a new fireworks show. I might try to go get it on tape if I can. Not sure if I can make it out there May 1st or not, but I'll make it out there soon to see this new show. I'm going to try to go May 1st. I do have to work, but I want my button and I want my new guide, so I'm going to try to get out there and get those. I'm hoping I can squeeze in this fireworks show right after work. It's on one of the same days I'll be taping this video we do, so it might be part of next week's show. I think that's next week. Next week or the week after, it might be part of one of the shows, so look for that up there. Like I said, it's the 30th anniversary of Hollywood Studios. There's a whole bunch going on, special meet and greets, special parades, special foods, all kinds of stuff. I'll be there May 1st. I'll be there May 4th for all the Star Wars craziness for May the 4th be with you. So we might have some of that spliced into the show. I'll bring my camera, I'll keep it on and make sure. You know what I'm saying? Just in case there's stuff that I have to have on the show. But anyway, it's all I'm going to cover for the 30th until it happens and I know what really happened. And I'll probably go over it in retrospect. So we're going to get into some e-ticket Disney Plus stuff before we go off. I'm going to touch them real quick, y'all. There's an Untitled Imagineering series coming at launch. That's about everything Imagineering for the 65 plus years of Disney Imagineering. And just like I said, when it comes to the ink and paint and the animation side, I'm the same way when it comes to the park side. I love watching them build this stuff. I love watching how they come up with all these attractions we enjoy and where it all started. At one point, I was going to dig a moat around my house and make my own little miniature river ride. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not, I mean, I saw how they did it. Nowadays, it ain't that hard. So, I mean, I love this stuff. I can't wait to see this. I've watched so much of this stuff. They're probably going to show me things I've already seen, but I'm still just going to eat it all up because this, like, Imagineering is the greatest thing to me that has ever happened in American culture. I love the Imagineers. I love what they do, and I would be a damn recorder if they'd pay me to do it and just write what they're doing and video what they're doing. Just if they wouldn't even have to pay me, probably. I'd probably do it as a hobby. That's how much I love the Imagineers and what they do. Like, I'm so blown away by things like Pandora and this Galaxy's Edge and all that, and this is going to show where it all started from. So I really can't wait to see that. But like I said, moving on, we're going to keep going. This will happen in year 1, and this is called Be Our Chef. And sometime in year 1, there's going to be a cooking competition called Be Our Chef. Ever since Ramsay started Hell's Kitchen, I have been hooked on these damn cooking competitions. And this one the winner gets to develop a Disney Parks food, which the best food in the world to me is at Disney Parks. And you best believe I'm going to watch the next person who's going to be there to make a new one. So this is on my list of I can't wait to watch. And the last thing on my e-ticket list that I can't wait to watch is The Magic of the Animal Kingdom. I love the Animal Kingdom, y'all. I love it. It's my favorite zoo I've ever been to. It's an interactive zoo. It's so much fun. And this is going to come out sometime in year 1. It's going to be a National Geographic look at the aquariums and the Animal Kingdom lots and just everything that goes into keeping those animals safe and developing all these attractions and the actual, like, when you ride on the safari. I know they're going to talk a lot about that and how the animals are taken care of that freely roam there. And I can't wait to get deeper into that. I always hang on their every words when they talk to me at Animal Kingdom because I can't believe the love and care that goes into this and it still be a theme park. It's amazing to me. Like I said, it's one of the most amazing zoos I've ever been to. But I know we've ran way over time, so as usual, hit up that email address, send us some questions, anything you want to go over, anything you want to know, anything you want to see in the parks, anything. Just send us some questions. I love to talk back and forth with y'all. I'll put it on the show. We'll answer it there, and we'll just see where that goes. And speaking of seeing where things go, if you're watching this on YouTube, check down there in the bottom. If you're watching this on the site, click over to YouTube and check down there in the bottom. Hit subscribe, hit the bell. But while you're down there, I've got links. Those links go to the Snipes-n-Snarfblatts website. They're a link to us on Facebook, a link to us on Twitter, a link to us on Instagram, and a link to us on Pinterest. See us on Instagram for all of the park reviews. I do food reviews. I do all kinds of pictures of the park all the time. If there's any festivals, I'll put up, like I'm putting up the topiaries from the little beautiful bush things, like characters from the Flower and Garden from Epcot right now. I'm doing food reviews from the Flower and Garden right now. That will bleed into regular Disney food reviews later, and then that will bleed into food and wine and wash, rinse, repeat. We'll just keep it going from there. So follow us on Instagram for all of that. Follow us on Facebook or Twitter to see all this stuff as it hits the website the day it happens. And then, like I said, subscribe and hit the bell on YouTube so you can be with us every week for this. I've got the Avengers review coming out next week. I'm probably going to do a written review for Penguins because there's not going to be much to say. I'm really just doing the written review to remind people that it's there. Go see Penguins this weekend so your proceeds can help. And like I said, go down there, subscribe, tell your friends, like and share us, and hit all of those social sites up and follow us on everything. Join the conversation, and I cannot wait to talk to y'all next week. Like I said, we are a week from in-game, so next week you're going to see me twice. We got the show and we got the review. No spoilers, as always. And as always, we're going to sign off with a Disney quote. This Disney quote, it works then and it works right now based on everything we've went over. The era we're living in is a dream come true.